Welcome back to Calmsden. Yet again, we are off to the dealership. So, I've leased a lime spreader and we're off to collect it. First, before we get into the meat of it, if you have not already, please do hit that subscribe button. It really does help this little channel to grow. So, this episode, let's put it into context. Let's set the context. In the previous episode, we did a lot of rock picking, or stone picking. It took a really long time, but we picked a lot of stone. What we also did was build a little rock crushing facility. So it's basically like a rock crusher machine is like a mini production chain. You feed it with stone and it produces lime. Now, we placed that on our own farm, so I think it's quite a shrewd move because, first of all, stones, you can sell them direct, but they don't really make a lot of money. Secondly, lime costs a fortune and we need a lot of lime. So I really think the rock crusher was actually the way to go. So let's just pull up here. We can have a chat about the specific spreader in a second. Let's just pull up the map to put all of this into context. Just to figure out, well, how much liming do we really need to do? And here's your answer. In effect, the whole of Calmsden needs liming. Not least our 3 fields as well. So of course we've got 3 big fields that all need doing. Now, I have no idea if the amount of lime we're going to produce from the rock crushing machine is going to be enough. So I think the name of the game in this episode is to get as far as we can. Try and get as much done as possible before we have to shell out and purchase any lime. Maybe we'll get to the end and have some to sell. Who knows? So let's just zip down there. Okay, we're here. So you'll see where, in the previous episode, the exact location of where we placed the crusher and why. So I think the refill point is, or the unloading point is here. So as usual, you just hit whatever refill button you normally hit, or for me. And it fills super fast, which is nice. So let's just take a second to check what's actually left in it. Zip down here. Okay, cool. And it's still processing. You'll see lots of stones in there from the previous episode, so it's still processing. 1,000 litres of stone makes 4,000 lime. I would have thought it was the other way around, but I won't argue it. The more we get, the better. So where will we pull up? Where will we start? I'm never that neat when it comes to spreading lime. Let's see, we'll just get as much out as we can. What I'm going to do is stick as close to, at least for the first while, I'm going to stick as close to the corner of the field that the rock crusher is actually placed, because if I run out, at least I won't have made any long trips. As I say, I really don't know how far this is going to go, so will I make it to the end of the first field? Will I get it into the second field? And in a perfect world, would I get all 3 of the big fields done? Who knows? Gonna find out the hard way, I guess. So, as I'm doing this, I'll give a quick mention to a mod I spotted during the week. I don't do mod reviews, but it was just one of those ones that sort of caught my eye. It's called a pallet autoload specialization, which is a very fancy term. Basically what it is it'll make any trailer in the base game an auto-loading trailer, which is, number 1, is pretty cool. We haven't had that before. And secondly, you can auto-load pretty much anything, and auto-load pretty much anything at the same time. So previously you'd have to nail your colours to the mast with an auto-loading trailer. You'd have to say at the point of purchase, it's a square baler, it's a auto-load, it's a round bale auto-load, it's a pallet auto-load. But now you can decide dynamically. At the point where you're actually pulling up beside something, you can decide, what am I going to auto-load? So you could have, in theory, 10 square bales, 25 round bales, and I don't know, 6 pallets, all auto-loaded onto the one trailer at the same time. It's just one of those ones. As I say, I don't do mod reviews, and I'm not going to go as far as to say that's a game changer or anything like that, but it does push the boundaries a little bit. I think it was quite an interesting one when I looked at it. Will we use it on this series? I'm not sure. Typically I kind of like doing the loader work, to be honest. It's also a point where I typically stop for a chat. It's just quite relaxing. So we're going quite well here. So it looks like I've just squared off. I've done a triangle in the corner here, so just to square off the field. So maybe when the first load is nearly empty, we'll catch up again. Okay, first load empty. And we got a fair portion of that field done. And it feels like we haven't put much of a dent in our lime supply at all. So I'm liking this. Here we go again. Okay, we've got plenty. So I won't drag this out. What I'll do is I'll time lapse a little bit of this and we'll probably catch up at the end of each field just to see how much is left. Okay, first field nearly done, and we still have loads in the hopper. So very well impressed, very impressed with this. Well, as in, that is to say, very impressed with the amount of lime we've managed to produce. So just going to finish off this. I think I missed a bit down in the far corner as well, so just zip down there and we catch up when we get back up to the refill. Okay, turns out I didn't miss a bit. There was nothing down there. It's all well and good. So really pleased with that. I've got less than half a load here, so we're just going to fill up and we'll head over to the second field. So you'll remember we harvested 2 fields. We'll get over to the other one. I can't remember, it was barley in one and wheat in the other. So we're loaded up and we'll get down there. Let's just very briefly check. Yep, we've got loads. We've got absolutely loads of lime. I'm really loving this. It's saving us a fortune. And yep, again, just to reaffirm, it is 1,000 litres a stone for 4,000 of lime. And we've got plenty stones still to pass through, so really good. So let's get down to that field. It is getting late in the evening, so we'll probably time-lapse the other field as well, and then come back. Actually, you know what? Why am I making a long journey all the way down to the other field? You know what? Let's do... The whole purpose of placing the rock crusher here was because it was beside our 2 big fields. Let's just lime that out first. Let's see if we can get this other field done. Because we didn't harvest it, it wasn't harvest ready on New Farmer at the start of the game save. I kind of forget this field is even here, but we do have 3 big fields and this is one of them. So this is the first thing we've actually done in this field. So what I will probably do is, jeepers, this does look like a pretty big field. I'm really not sure if we're going to have enough lime to go around, but maybe we will. Maybe we'll have way more than enough. We're going to find out. So again, I'll time-lapse my way through this field and we'll catch up towards the back end of it. Done. Okay, so we made light work of that. Okay, light work as in it took a while, but doesn't really seem to have put much of a dent again in the lime supply. It's still going, it's still producing. I did not expect to get this far. Now that we've got 2 done, I kind of want to go all the way. I'm really disappointed if I can't get the last field done. So this episode is probably getting a little bit longer than I usually would. Put out there. So what I might do is we might finish up once we get down to the field, and we can catch up in the next episode. So I'm glad I did that other field beside the crusher first. It would have been silly to be making the journey up and down here, particularly if I ran out. Quick word on this machine actually, again, I said at the top, perfectly good machine. It's not expensive, it's not big, it's not fancy, but it's moving quickly and there's a reasonable scatter in it, so we're getting the fields done reasonably quickly. Overall though, I've gotten 2 fields done. I must say I'm more than delighted with how the rock crushing has worked out. Didn't expect to get this far. So what I'll do is I'll finish up the episode here. I won't put anyone through any more liming, and at the start of the next episode we'll catch up on whether it actually finished. Cliffhanger!